Now let's talk about PyQt. So before talking about PyQt, I'm going to talk about Qt or Qt. So first of all, what's Qt or Qt? Now, Qt or Qt is used for building graphical user interface applications using C++ programming language. Qt is used for developing graphical user interfaces and multi-platform applications that run on all major desktop platforms and most mobile or embedded platforms. Most GUI programs created with Qt have a native-looking interface, in which case Qt is classified as a widget toolkit. Also, you can build non-GUI programs using Qt. For example, we can build command line tools and also console applications. Now, there are different softwares that they are using Qt or Qt. I have listed some of them. For example, OBS, it's a cross-platform screencast software. Telegram Desktop, VLC Media Player, Wireshark, it's a packet analyzer, Adobe Photoshop Album, CryEngine V. So CryEngine is a game engine that is that's using C++, and also TeamViewer. Now let's talk about PyQt. And what is PyQt? So PyQt is a set of Python bindings for building cross-platform applications. PyQt combines all the advantage of Qt or Qt and Python. With PyQt, you can include Qt libraries in Python code, enabling you to write graphical user interface applications in Python. In other words, we can say that PyQt allows you to access all the facilities provided by Qt through Python code. Now, there are different versions of PyQt. So, for example, we had PyQt 4, after that PyQt 5, and now we have the latest version of PyQt, and that is PyQt6. According to Riverbank Computing Company, there will be no new updates or no new features for PyQt 4. And in this course, we will just focus on PyQt6 and also PyQt 5, and the majority part will be related to PyQt6. Now let's talk about PyQt license, and I'm going to open the Riverbank Computing website. So now if you see in here, so we are on Riverbank Computing, and you can see PyQt commercial version. And like Qt itself, Riverbank software and these modules like PyQt, PyQt3D, PyQt charts is provided under a number of licenses depending on how it's going to be used. For example, it's telling that PyQt 4 is no longer supported and no new releases will be made. Now the free versions are licensed under the GNU, or we can say General Public License version 3. If your use of Riverbank software is compatible with the GPL, then you do not need to buy any commercial license. But if your use of Riverbank's software is not compatible with the GPL, then you require and you need to buy a commercial license. And there is no functional difference between the GPL version and also the commercial versions. But you can see that there are some features for the commercial versions, like for example, you'll access to a copy of PyQt6, PyQt 5, and also PyQt 4, and commercial source code that you can download via HTTPS, and also a copy of PyQt3D, PyQt charts. For example, if you're using a free version, you will need to install a library that's called PyQt charts. But for example, if you have a commercial license, they will be within that version. And also you can see that these are the features that will be added by default with the commercial version of PyQt. But if you're using, for example, the free version, you need to install these libraries and these modules. Also, there are different modules for PyQt versions. Now let's talk about the different modules that are available in these two versions. Now if you see the riverbankcomputing.com, these are the modules that are contained within the top level of PyQt6 package. Now you can see that we have Qt 3D animation, we have Qt 3D core, and Qt core, Qt charts that you can build charts, We have Qt GUI, that there are different classes, for example, for drawing, for painting, that are related to this. We have Qt Designer, and we have Qt Network, and we have Qt Quick, and so these are the modules that are related for PyQt6. Now if you see, there are different modules for PyQt5, and you can see Qt3D animation, Qt core. Now there are some modules that are not in PyQt6, but they are in PyQt5. So if you see in here, if I come down, for example, Qt Multimedia, Qt Multimedia and Qt Multimedia widgets, we have in PyQt5, but we don't have this module in PyQt6. Now if you see, we don't have any Qt Multimedia. And also if you see, for example, there will be Qt Web Engine Core and also Qt Web Engine widgets. They are available in PyQt5, but we don't have them in PyQt6. Now according to the Qt company, it will be released on it will be released on PyQt 6.2. Right now the version is 6.1, but in the next release they will have the missing features of PyQt 5 and PyQt 6.